Hey everyone, and welcome to the free mini course that we're doing for you. Self-Build Mastery, it's called, and it's going to take you through the key 16 steps that you need to go through to build your home in the most cost-effective way, right from budgeting all the way through to completion and moving in your own home. No matter what construction method you're going for, you're going to go through this process from start to finish. I've been in the industry a while, and all the projects I've gone or worked on have gone through this process, and it's going to help you understand the whole process in its entirety and save you in excess of £50,000. So these are the three modules that we've broken it down into, which is Dream It, Plan It, the ultimate foundation for your self-build. Master Self-Builders, how to secure the best team and prepare for your construction. And from ground to glory, bring your dream home to life. So using these steps, we've helped Kit and Luke save over £150,000 on their project by providing them the estimated cost before they purchased their land. This enabled them to negotiate the right price on the land and not overpaying for that plot of land, understanding the build costs, understanding the value of the land and the resale cost, and calculating it all and realising that if they'd proceed forward on their original deal, they would have lost £150,000. So they managed to capture that just in time, help them renegotiate and save them £150,000. We also helped Catherine and David save £21,000 alone just on their design fees, and we're currently working through their procurement now, where we're aiming to save them another at least £80,000 on their self-build project. The statistics show that on average, self-builders overrun by budget 50 to 100k on average based on £400,000 self-build project. The statistics show that the average self-builder overruns budget by 50 to 100k on the average based on a £400,000 self-build project. So this is the pricing template that you will get. It's part of our 10k offer. It's not for sale anywhere else. It easily compares prices. It highlights where contractors have overpriced items, and you can help using this template. It gives you the help and knowledge you needed to go back and negotiate with them. And we use it to save our clients on average £50,000 to £100,000 on a self-build project. So you only get this if you do complete this in the 5 days allocated. So we are rewarding the action takers, and we do this because if we don't give you a target, a lot of people sign up to these free programs and never complete them. And we understand that if you complete this program, you're going to be able to save a lot of money on your self-build journey. So I've done it for your benefit. Finishing the course in 5 days, watch all 3 videos and do the short assignments. If you do this, you get the reward of the template. If you don't, we'll have to remove it, and there's no exceptions. There is a strict policy that we run this. There's no exceptions, so please finish the course. There'll be no exceptions whatsoever. So if your dog's eating your homework, etc., that won't be allowed. So this goes back to the 3 phases: Dream It, Plan It, the ultimate foundation for your self-build, Master Builders, how to secure the best team and prepare for your construction, and then from ground to glory, build your dream home, or should I say, bring your dream home to life. So like I've said, this is the key 16 steps that we're going to go through. We're going to talk about budgeting, finding land, finalising your vision and estimating your final costs, securing planning permission, raising funds if required, securing utilities, warranties, insurances, and building control, planning your self-build, securing and vetting the correct contractors and materials, project management, health and safety and CDM regulations, preparing your site, foundations, building the structure and getting a watertight seal, fitting out your self-build home, snagging and air testing, getting building control warranty sign-off building control and warranty sign-off, and finally moving into your home. So 16 steps there: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. But like I say, we've broken it down into 3 easy to watch. Hello everybody, and welcome to this free mini course on how to build your home in the most cost effective way. It's called Self-Build Mastery Mini Course. And we've broken it down to the 3 key stages that you'll go through. And it's key to mention here that it doesn't matter what kind of build method you're going for, if you're going for a timber frame, steel frame, traditional build, container home, whatever it may be, this course covers all of those methods. So you are in the right place if you're looking to save tens, if not hundreds of £1,000s on your budget. And all you need to do is go through this course and you're going to get a lot of knowledge in a really easy, quick way to digest. And you can come back and watch this course as many times as you want if you finish the course in 5 days. So these are the 3 phases we're going to go through. It's Dream It, Plan It, the ultimate foundation for your self-build. Master Builders, how to secure the best team and prepare for your construction. And from ground to glory, bring your dream home to life. So using these steps, we've helped Kit and Luke save over £150,000 on their project, providing them the estimated costs of the building before they purchase their land. This gave them the knowledge to understand how much the building was going to cost based on the current land valued by the seller, and then they could forecast their resale costs, which enabled them to realise that actually the build costs were far exceeding what they originally anticipated, and enabled them to go back to the seller and renegotiate. We've also helped David and Catherine save £21,000 alone just on their design fees, and we're currently going through the procurement phase with them where we're looking to save them in excess of £100,000. So the statistics show that on average, a self-builder overruns budget 50 to 100k based on an average of a £400,000 self-build project. So if you finish this course within the 5 days, we give you our free pricing template. The statistics show that an average self-builder overruns budget 50 to 100,000 pounds based on the average 400,000 pound self-build project. So as part of this course, and to motivate you to go through so as part of our course, we ask you to complete within 5 days. And why do we do this? Because we've got to give you something to drive you through to take the content on board, which is going to save you the money. So we give you a free pricing template, and this is going to save you in excess of £10,000 to £50,000 alone. We use it on our high ticket offer. It's not for sale anywhere else. Easily compares prices, so you can look at different items from contractors and see where somebody's significantly higher and negotiate them down. It highlights where the contractors have overpriced items, and we save our clients on average 50 to 100k by using this template, along with the other stuff that we're going to teach you in this course. So the pricing template, it's for the action takers. So you get it free. If you finish the course within 5 days, all you've got to do is watch the videos, do the short assignments at the end, and you'll be rewarded. If you don't do this, if you don't watch the videos and complete within 5 days, you will be removed, and there will be no exceptions to that. So these are the 3 phases I've touched on. Dream It, Plan It, the ultimate foundation for your self-build. Master Builders, how to secure the best team and prepare for your construction. And from ground to glory, bring your dream home to life. So these are the 16 steps that we're going to go through. So the first step is here, where we're going to talk about planning your budget. The second step is where we're going to be finding the perfect plot. The third step is defining your vision and estimating your final costs. The fourth step here is planning. The fifth step is raising funds if required. The sixth step, we're going to talk about the importance of securing building control, warranty providers, insurance, and utilities. The sixth step, we're going to talk about planning your self-build. The seventh step, we're going to talk about securing and vetting the correct contractors and materials. The eighth step, we're going to talk about project management. We're going to talk about health and safety and CDM regulations and compliance. The ninth step, we're going to talk about preparing your site ready for construction. Then we're going to talk about, on the ninth step, I think we're on now. Is it ninth step? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th step, foundations. 11th step, we're going to talk about building the structure and getting a watertight seal. 12th step, we're going to talk about fitting out your self-build home. And then on the 13th step, we're going to talk about, I've lost it. Why am I doing this? As I've said, I have got a high ticket program where I help people, self-builders across the country, build their home in the most cost-effective way, where we find on average we save them £50,000 to £100,000. So I'm hoping by some of you watching this, you will become my client. And if not, I know I'm going to help you save vast amounts of money on your project by educating you in the process that you're going through. So it's a win-win situation for everybody. So as I've said, I'm helping people across the country. So I've got a project down in Surrey where I'm working with David and Catherine on a logistically challenging self-build home in a woodland setting. Currently, we're down in Portsmouth helping Will and Caroline build their ICF self-build extension, which is bigger than the actual building they're extending. As you can see, it's quite a significant extension, and it's done in ICF. And we're on site pulling the foundations, or should I say pouring the foundations down in Exeter with Richard, who's building a quite significantly large bungalow with a lovely view for his mother. So who am I and why should you listen to me? Well, my name's John, and I started out as a carpet fitter. I did that for several years, and then I tried to retrain by going back to York College. I say try, I did retrain, and I became... Who am I and why should you listen to me? I started out as a carpet fitter. I did this for several years and had lads working for me, and then retrained at York College and did plumbing. But 2008, the recession hit, and I ended up doing a BTEC in construction, which got me a level 3. I ended up going to university off the back of that, Sheffield Hallam, and doing an RICS accredited degree in quantity surveying. So I got a BCSE with honours. Throughout that process, I helped my dad do a couple of self-builds in Bradford. The one on the left is a 2-bedroomed house, and the one on the right is also a 2-bedroomed house, both like extensions, if you will, on terraced buildings. I've then gone on to have quite a successful career working for Mace, Morgan Sindall, Esch, Algeco, and many others. And throughout this career, I've done many different types of buildings. So I've done Morrison local refurbs, Court refurbs, Asda and Sainsbury new builds, Royal Mail distributing centre refurbs. I've built assisted living homes. That was a laboratory I did for the Huddersfield University. This was a large Oyster building that I was on very briefly for the Huddersfield University. I did the environment offices refurbishments. I did one in Hull. I did one in Cambridge. I did 20 timber frame houses in Maltby. I did traditional houses, so that was 35 traditionally built houses in Leeds. This was a crematorium with glulam brick. Then this was a care home, which is a Grade 2 listed building. This was an award-winning project. Another care home, this was in Lincoln. I did an academy, £27 million. This was in Northampton. This was a modular build also. This was an office and warehouse facility up in Ripon. And this was an extension to an existing industrial estate. We were putting all the infrastructure in, the roads and the drainage. Throughout that process, I've also carried out self-builds for myself and for my father. And this is a 4-bedroomed house in Selby that my dad currently lives in. It's got solar panels and air source heat pump. And now I've set my own business up called 369 Construction Universe Group. And part of that is 369 Self-Build Academy, where we help people like yourselves build cost-effectively from conception to completion. No matter what type of construction method you're going on, we're going to help you through the process, make sure you do it in the most expedited way and the most cost-effective way. And since we've set up our business, we've worked on houses such as these out near Wetherby. This was one in my village. This was one down in Knaresborough. And now we're on site, as we've said before, with Richard down in Exeter and David down in Surrey. So at the Self-Build Academy, we have got our three pillars to success. Educate, so we give you the knowledge required to carry out your self-build like a professional. We empower you with the tools required to do it efficiently. And we guide you through the whole process step by step, giving you expert advice so you can move forward without any delays. So here we go. We're going to run through Dream It, Plan It, the ultimate foundation to your self-build. Before we go on to Master Builders, how to secure, So let's get into this then. The first module, Dream It, Plan It, the ultimate foundation for your self-build. So as I've touched on before, if you go through these modules, these are the exact same steps that we use on our high ticket course to help our clients save tens of thousands of pounds. We helped Kit and Luke save £150,000 on their truck project by providing them the estimate cost of build before they purchase their land. This was key because they worked out what the build cost was, what the current land sale cost was, and worked out the resale cost and found out they were going to be losing money. So by providing them a very detailed, structured estimate, they were able to go back and negotiate the correct deal with the vendor. And we've just helped Catherine and David save £21,000 on their design fees alone. And now we're going through the procurement phase where we're looking to save them another £50,000 to £100,000 as we procure each package for their self-build. So on the first module, these are the steps we're going to go through. We're going to go through setting out the budget is step 1. Step 2, finding and securing the perfect plot. Step 3, define your vision and estimate the final cost. Step 4, achieving planning permission. And step 5, raising funding. So let's go straight into this and establishing your budget. This is a key piece of information we want to share with you. So budget overruns and abandonment. In the UK, it is estimated over 50% of the self-build projects experience budget overruns, typically by 20 to 30%. Furthermore, around 14 to 20% of self-builds either abandon or significantly delay their projects due to financial planning or logistical issues. Despite these challenges, 90% of completed projects report high levels of satisfaction from homeowners. And this was from the Naxper and Build It magazine. So budgeting then, this is how we would tell you to set out your budget. You need to get either an Excel spreadsheet or write it all down on a piece of paper. Piece of paper is absolutely fine. We've got a template that we use with our clients. And you need to go through each element. So initial savings, how much have you got in your bank? Put that figure into there. It'll pull through to the front sheet. You may have different accounts. Maybe two of you looking at this. So it's important that I put all the information in so you can see it. Have you got any ISAs? Have you got any stocks or bonds? You can put these into this section. Property equity. So have you got a second home? Have you got some rental properties that you can maybe release some equity from? Put them into this section. And then we've got self-build mortgages. So can you raise funds against a self-build mortgage, or can you obtain a loan, etc.? You can put this figure into there. Then on the final sheet, we've got like a forecasting sheet where you can put in like usable employment salary, any self-build or freelancing income coming in, any rental incomes coming in, investment returns, pensions, etc. And you can forecast how much of this will be usable or disposable over the next 24 months and available for your self-build budget. By doing this, it'll pull all the figures to the front. So this is a rough one that I've put together just as an example, just threw some numbers in there. And you can see it brings all the figures to the front and gives you a total budget. So this gives you your financial position really and what your budget is for your self-build project. So tip 1 here is to review your available savings, assets and potential income streams that will support your self-build project. Tip 2, check if there are any local grants available or any national grants available, such as the Help to Build Equity Loan. This is a government scheme, and if you Google that, you should find out if you're eligible. You'll have to go through, there is certain criteria you have to meet, but if you go Google that, you'll be able to find out if you're eligible. And tip 3, organize your findings using Excel or a template similar to create a clear and comprehensive budget plan. So step 2, finding and securing the perfect plot. At this point, I'd just like to say sometimes the perfect plot in your mind isn't the perfect plot. You've got to be very adaptable in this scenario. If you want to live in a specific area, it is much harder to find the perfect plot, shall we say. But you need to be able to be adaptable and open-minded to different opportunities that will present themselves when you go on this journey. So using specialist plot finding tools. Most of you'll know this, but Plot Finder, Zoopla, Rightmove, but I think a new one that's on the scene that we use a lot is Adland, which is really helpful because you can go search plots of land on Google or Adland, and you can click on the land and get a report carried out on that parcel of land based on the boundary And from that report, you can hunt down who owns it, send them a letter, knock on the door, ask them if they're interested in selling that property, and you're getting off the market deals there, if you like, so you're not really in competition with people at that point. So it's just out of the box, thinking out of the box sort of scenario. Go in your local planning portal, seeing what stuff is going through planning, seeing what's getting objected, see if there's anything that's got planning elapsing. So if it's coming to its end of its planning, that seller might be motivated to sell that on quickly. You might be able to get a deal. But spreading your net wide is going to help you, because the wider you spread the net, the more opportunities you're going to see. The more you think out of the box and stop doing what everybody else is doing, you find the opportunities that they can't find. Once again, this is an example of a demolition project. So when you're driving around the area that you're looking to buy a plot of land in, is there any derelict buildings in that area where you can demolish them and build your plot on? And then you need to be thinking about the amenities, the supermarkets, the schools, the trains, the buses, the size of your garden, etc. Does it fit your criteria? And like I've said, stay flexible at this point, because the more rigid you are on exactly what you're looking for, the less opportunities there are available. So if you're looking for a 10-acre plot of land in the middle of London, it's very unlikely you're going to find it, especially if you've got a budget of £100,000. So as you can see, I'm just trying to say to keep your mind open and be adaptable whilst you're looking for your land. So as I've touched on, as you're in London, properties or land are very expensive, but as you come more north, the properties come down, or the land comes down in valuation, typically, not always. But think out the box again. If you work in London and live in London currently, do you need to actually live there? Can you live somewhere else, like York, and work at home 2 days a week, 3 days a week, and travel from York to London on a 2-hour train, and then buy a plot of land that fits your budget, have a type of lifestyle that fits your requirements, and still carry out the work as required? Just trying to get you to think differently. And then now there is different sort of plots coming available, such as Barratt Homes have got some of their developments have got like options for custom builds. So this is something that's been government led, where large house builders have to make some of their plots available, or some of their land available, where they're doing developments for custom builds. So then what this does is enables people to carry out a custom build, so they're not the only person on the street carrying out the self build, so they don't feel isolated. So you get that community feeling. And they also service the plots in some occasions, so they bring the services such as the water, electric and gas to the boundary, so that's much easier and helps you reduce costs in that area. So that's another option to think about. Also, you need to think about the ground conditions. So depending on where the land is, everyone's got different ground conditions. Is it sandy? Is it rocky? Is it contaminated? All these things affect how much the build cost is going to be. So it's stuff that you need to be thinking about when you're buying the land. Don't just rush into buying a plot of land. You might need to get some surveys carried out on it and some ground assessments carried out before you buy that plot of land. If you're unsure, always speak to an expert. It's my advice. And then, as I've touched on previously, thinking about your utilities coming in. Are they close? This is a good example here. These are the utilities going into a shared trench, which can save you money. And as you can see on this property that I carried out with my dad, the one that I showed you before, there's a 44 metre run of cable. And this cost £20,000 to put in, roughly speaking. Had you come straight from the road, it might have been £1,500, £3,000. But bringing it all this way costs a lot more money. So that's something you need to consider when you're buying a plot of land. If there is a long distance from where the existing utilities are to the actual property, that trench is going to have to be dug, and that pipe is going to be a lot longer and cost a lot more. So it's just something to consider. Also, you want to be going online and using calculators. We have got one on our website now, and this is another one off somebody else's website. If you go on our website, there'll be a calculator where you can put in the area of the build that you're looking at, the postcode that you're looking to build it, and your email, and on the calculator that we've got, you can actually put your construction method in and your budgets for your kitchen, etc., which makes the number a bit more accurate, and that will fire out a rough, quick guide on how much that type of building is going to cost in that specific area that you're looking to build, which is just a guide stick. It's not a fixed cost. It is an estimate. So don't take it as gospel, but it is a good guide to make sure that you know heading in the right direction and you're staying within your budget based on the information that you put into the calculator. So go check that out on our website. That's www.369cug.com. Also, at this stage, you want to be carrying out assessment and an appraisal on any land that you're looking to buy. So this is the template that we use, the development feasibility cost plan, where you're putting in figures such as the cost of the plot, the stamp duty on there, the professional fees, the planning and building control fees, financing costs, insurance, on-site costs, site preparation costs, construction costs, specific anomalies. So if there's a flood risk, grade on gas, etc., you can put stuff in there. External works costs, drainage costs, service costs, potential planning condition costs, contingencies. Everybody needs contingency, especially self-builders, because you haven't been in construction, a lot of you, previously. So you do need a contingency. Even the professionals, we've got a contingency, because it'd be naive, because construction, as many different times, or I should say, as many projects as we do, no matter how many projects we do, it's still a learning curve for even the professionals, because something comes up different on every project, and the contingency helps you to deal with that. And like I say, I've been involved in delivering £200 million worth of construction work, and the contingency is key, even at this level. So don't think you can do it without contingency. Please, please, please allow for contingency. And then at the end of this, you've got your forecast potential real sale costs. So that adds up all the total costs that you've put in, and then you could put your total resale cost in. If you are doing a development, you can put your houses in. If you're just doing your one home, you can then see how much the land's costing, how much the estimate to build is, how much the resale cost is, and what your profit and loss is. And I would suggest that you should all be running at a profit, because why would you build your own custom home and not run at a profit? But some of you might have an endless pot of money, which is absolutely fantastic. If you had, then you don't have to worry about this too much, and you can just focus on exactly what you want. But majority of us haven't got an endless pot of money, so this is a key tool to use. And I think you can fill this out yourself, but I would advise to get an expert to fill this in for you, so you know that the numbers are believable, for want of a better phrase. So always negotiate is another thing. You know, never take the first price as never take the first price. Always negotiate. There's always a deal to be done. You just got to find the right angle, the right way in. And if you approach it correctly, you can normally get a saving on land or any materials or contractors, etc., while keeping everybody on side without upsetting anyone. But there's always a deal to be done. So always think about negotiating based on the first price. Obviously, if that plot of land is highly sought after, this becomes a lot more harder or sometimes impossible. But always consider negotiating. So tip 1, understand your overall budget, including both land and budget costs. Tip 2, consider factors like planning permission, whether the site is in a greenbelt or brownfield area, or conservation area, or is the building listed. Also consider the ground conditions and the utilities availability and location. Tip 3, to avoid overcommitting financially, negotiate based on the total build costs and the potential resale value of the completed property. So now we're at step 3, defining your vision and estimating the final cost. So to define your vision, you need to go through this template, which helps you create your design brief, which enables you to go out to designers and get like-for-like prices based on your requirements and desired outcome for your property. So it's basic information goes in here, such as your name, address, project name, location of the site, if you know it or you don't know it, planning permission, yes or no, is the site in a conservation area? So you're informing the designer about all the critical information that they need to know. Moving on, what's the intended use, primary resident, holiday home, size and layout, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom, number of bathrooms. So you're going to have 1, 2, 3, or bathroom. How many bathrooms you're going to have, how many en suites you're going to have. Living areas, do you want open plan living areas with kitchen dining areas, separate living areas with dining areas, or do you want additional rooms such as playroom, study, etc.? All these things will go into here to make it clear to the designer the exact requirements of your self-build. What kind of design do you want in terms of contemporary, traditional, eco design, minimalistic, modern, rustic, industrial? What kind of finishes you're looking for? All this information helps designers come up with the correct type of proposal for you. So then you want to go out to different architects or designers, and I say architects or designers because architects are significantly more expensive than designers. Designers can do the same job as an architect, so there's hundreds of thousands of homes built every year, should we say, or certainly thousands of homes built every year. And on average, I think 15,000 self-builders build their home and complete every year. So that should give you a bit of confidence that you can do this. And some of those will use designers and some will use architects. Now, architects base their fees on the REBA structure, which is a percentage of your overall budget, which maybe isn't the best way to do it or the most cost-effective way to do it, because ultimately they should be pricing it on how long it's going to take them to do. So if it's going to take them to do the same amount of time for £1 million budget as a £500,000 budget, why is the client paying double for getting the same amount of time spent on it? There is an argument regarding insurances, but the insurances, the buildings are signed off structurally by structural engineers and the warranty providers. So the architects really at that point haven't got a leg to stand on in terms of justifying the fee. But I'm sure there'll be many of them jumping out at me now saying this, that, and the rest of it. So I'm not saying don't use architects, but I'm just saying keep your mind open because there's different options available to you. And then when the proposals come back in, you don't always want to go with the cheapest price, which most people think I'm going to say. You want to do an analysis based on the quality of the proposal, the design quality, and the cost of the proposal. And then obviously you want to have a feeling of, yes, I want to work with this guy. Yes, I've got a good feeling about it. And ultimately, if you have got a bad feeling about anything, don't go into a deal with anybody. That's what the best piece of advice I could give you. If it doesn't feel right, it's for a reason. So go with the person that feels right for you, even if they're a little bit more, or even if they're the lowest price, but just make sure that deal feels right for you. Then you need to go speak to a professional estimator or quantity surveyor, and based on the designs produced by your designer or architect, get a robust cost plan carried out to estimate your costs. And it's key to say this is an estimation based on all the information provided at this point. So you should have the knowledge of the ground, you should have the type of construction method you're going for, and a decent estimate or QS is going to be able to calculate a very robust estimate at this point. Obviously, you can only see what you can see, so as you go through the build, something might come out, but it will be a good guide, a very strong good guide at this point, a very a number you can put some trust in is what I'm trying to say. So that'll look something like this. So this is a self-build forecast for our timber frame house, and here we've got all the elements priced, and it kicks out at the bottom a total of 681,000. So then that gives the client some comfort in knowing that they're moving forward, they've got that money in the bank, or if they haven't got that money in the bank, then they know they need to raise some additional funds if they want to build that specific type of building in that area. So tip 1, create your design brief and consult with several designers to get quotations. Tip 2, compare the quotations and place your order with your preferred designer based on the value of their proposal and the feeling. Tip 3, itchy eye. Tip 3, once you've got your drawings produced by your designer, get a robust estimate carried out against those designs to ensure they align with your budget. So as I've touched on, this is where you get checking that your budget hasn't been blown out the water by your designer getting carried away with himself, and if it has, you're getting a QS to check it at this point, so you can rein the designer in to get him to just tailor back on all the bells and whistles that you don't need, that are a necessity. But if you've got a bottomless pit of money, fantastic, then you can let him, go spend your money at his delight. So step 4, achieving planning permission. So there's different types of planning permission you can go for. There's outline planning, which is this. This is sort of an example here that I've given you, which I've actually done for Sean down in Kent. An outline planning, all you need to do is let the planning officer or the planning department know the type of houses that you're going to be putting on in terms of the size of the house, should we say, in terms of the square meterage, any new roads coming in, and the rough locations of where the houses are going to be on the site. So here we're doing a barn conversion, and we're looking to do 3 new additional self-builds, and this is down in Kent, and an extension on his existing property. They've come back after initial consultation, so you can go for an initial consultation as well, which isn't actually putting a submission in. So we've put initial consultation in, and we've sent some drawings in, and the planning officer came out to site and gave us some advice. They was very positive about the barn. They weren't too positive about the other builds, but they didn't know there were self-builds at that point. So when they find out the self-builds, they might feel a little bit more positive towards it, because the government do now have targets they have to hit on a regular basis. So it's key to mention here, there is a self-build register that you don't need to, but you should be, if you're looking for land, you should be going and register on the self-build register in your area. So then you can put pressure onto your local council to make sure that them plots become available for you guys to build, because they've now got targets they have to hit, and it's a lot harder for them to get out of them targets, because previously they would just delete people off the list. But nowadays they're not deleting people off the list, because the target's based on people new people added to the list. So even if they delete people off the list, the target's based on new people added to the list. So if 100 new people are added, then they've got to service that 100 new people. So go and find the register and register on it. We'll put a link on our website as well, so you can easily access it. So that's www.369cug. So if that was outline planning, and now we're going into detail planning. So this is detail planning. So when you're going for detail planning, the planning department will want to see a lot more information. So they want to see elevations of each side of the building, exactly what it's going to look like, north, south, west, and east. And this is going to be a bungalow that we're doing for Richard down in Exeter. And they also will want a site plan, and on most occasions they're going to want a landscaping plan, so they know what different landscaping elements are going to be. They'll also want to know how you're going to connect into the local mains. They might want a biodiversity report doing, a ground investigation report doing, a tree survey doing. All different surveys could be carried out in a detailed planning. It does cost a lot more to go for detailed planning, but if you do go for detailed planning and it goes through first time, it is the most expedient way of carrying out a planning application. And I would suggest for most self-builders watching this, that's probably your preferred option. And if you're in a conservation area, you might be asked to carry out CGIs so they can see the finished structure. So this is the CGI I done on the right for a client here in my village, Sean. He's a property developer, very successful. And this was an extension he did on his home. And he asked me to do the CGIs for him, so he was able to get planning permission in the conservation area, which we successfully did and achieved planning permission for him. So that's another thing to keep in mind. And the other good thing about CGIs and 3D models, if you're carrying out your self-built home, is you can actually see what the building looks like inside. You can see what the areas look like. Does the furniture fit in there? Does it feel how you want? And here you can see this is what we did for one of our clients, Pam. And we built out a kitchen so she could see the layout of a kitchen and the full layout of a house. Quite an extensive house that she's looking to do. So here's just a table that gives you the difference between outline planning and detail planning based on different aspects. So scope, outline planning seeks approval in principle for general concept and scale of development, where detail planning seeks approval for the entire development with all the designs and technical details included. So level of detail, outline planning, minimal level of detail required at the initial stage, except for the access and possible scale. So as I talked about, where's the roads coming in, new pathways, and the size of the buildings. Detail planning requires details of the project. Detail planning requires full details of the project, including design, appearance, and landscaping. Flexibility. Outline planning, greater flexibility for changes to be made at future applications under reserved matters. So this means that if you get outline planning, you can leave it for somebody else to come buy that plot of land off you, and they can add their detail on there and get it through planning. So if you are looking for an exit strategy, this could be something that you're looking at. But I would have thought most people doing this are going to go for detailed planning because you're looking to build your own home. Some people might be developers and have different sort of ideas. So I'm just throwing this out there. Detailed planning, less flexibility. Any changes post-approval would require an additional application. Sometimes you can go for a minor amendment, which I think is called a Section 73, where if you're changing sometimes a brick or window location or something minimal, then you can get a minor amendment, which is a little bit faster than a full application going back in. Reserved matters, outline planning, follow-up application required to address detailed aspects, appearance, scale, and layout. And for detailed planning, there's no further applications needed. All details must be submitted initially and they will be signed off, and that's what you'll build to. So you've got another key thing to talk about here is planning is not building control. Planning is the exterior look of the building, size, location, and building control is making sure that you're building it so it firmly performs and it structurally stands the test of time. So next aspect is time for the approval. So outline planning takes the same time as detail planning, but it takes longer because obviously you might get outline planning, but then you're going to have to go back for detail planning anyway. So detail planning is the shorter option because you get the approval on your detailed designs and you can move on to construction immediately. When to use? So outline planning is typically used for larger phase speculative developments where details are not yet finalized. So like I've suggested, where there's big plots of land and developers are doing phase builds on there, they may go for outline planning for the whole thing and then get each phase done separately in terms of detail planning. And then for detail planning, when to use for smaller developments when the full designs and plans are ready to implement. So that's, like I've touched on many times, most self-builders position. I think that's where you should be going in for detailed planning. So tip 1, talk to your neighbours to gain their support to reduce the likelihood of objections when submitting your planning application. This is a proactive approach and can help smooth the approval process. So one of our clients, David, did this. He's building in quite an affluent area in a woodland setting, and he approached all the people on the street and he got majority of people supportive. Initially, he had a few objections, but because he engaged with them early and kept them in the loop as he went through the whole process, he won the battle, won people's side and got less objections when he went to submit his approval. He still got rejected, but he did push it through appeal, which is fantastic. And now we're on site preparing for his construction phase early next year. Tip 2, obtain detailed planning permission the first time around. So yeah, as I've touched on, many of you are going to be self-builders, and I would advise go for detailed planning permission first time around if you're very confident that you're going to get it. And you should be confident because if you're following these steps, you've bought a plot of land that you know you're likely to get planning permission on, so you should be going for it first time. Tip 3, if your plans get rejected, don't hesitate to appeal, as our clients have appealed and been successful. Like I've touched on there, David appealed. Many projects I've done with my dad, he's had to appeal and he's pushed it through. So don't be afraid to appeal and do it with no hesitation. But sometimes if you do have to appeal, I would probably advise you to speak to someone who's an expert in dealing with an appeal. You can reach out to us or go find someone on the internet and we can push you in the right direction if we can't help you directly, that is. So step 5, raising funds or raising funding. So to do this, you need to do a development appraisal. This is a different version of the one I showed you earlier, where you put all the details of the project in, the cost of the land, the resale value, consider all the costs in terms of S106s and any other items that you need to consider, architect fees, etc., etc. And then this is going to help you go to the lenders and show to them that the development is feasible and they're willing to loan money against that property. So once again, speak to professional. There's a good company out there called Mayweather Mortgages, and they do good self-build mortgages. And there's the Build It store as well. They're the top two in the industry. But we are currently working with Mayweather on one of ours, and I've found Mike Plawley, I think he's called, a very easygoing guy to deal with. So yeah, I would recommend them. And on our website there is a link through where you can fill it out, and Mike or his team will be in touch. So if you are looking for funding, go onto our website. That's www.369CUG. Look in the self-build section and you'll find self-build mortgages in there. Click on the link, follow it through, and you can start your application. So tip 1, get a quantity surveyor to provide you with detailed cost plans. Tip 2, use a broker to work out which routes best for you to ensure you get the best financial strategy for your financial position. So we've all got different financial positions, and most of you will go for a self-build mortgage, but it might not suit your financial position or your finances. So speak with a broker and keep options over. Like I've touched on there, we do know Mike. We have got other brokers even who we work with. So if you are struggling to find someone, reach out and I'll put someone in contact with you. Tip 3, ensure you do not miss any payments. So if you do take a loan out, especially if you're going for a bridging loan, don't miss any payments, because it's going to cost you significantly and it could be a spiral that gets out of control. If you are in financial trouble and you're finding that you are running out and struggling with payments, make your lender aware of this ASAP, because there is options available to you the earlier you notify them of this issue. If you go to them at the very last minute, them options will have been evaporated and not there anymore. So that's why I'm saying ensure you make the payments, and if you do run into problems, reach out to them early. So that's it. That completes this module of Dream It Plan It, the ultimate foundation for your self-build, where we've gone through setting your budget, the importance of understanding your financial position, finding and securing the perfect plot, keeping your mind open, making sure that you take all the different considerations into your plan, such as finding the land with utilities, amenities, etc., etc. Step 3, defining your vision and estimating your final costs. So going out with your design brief, speaking to designers, getting back their proposals, picking who you want to go with, agreeing to move forward with them, and then estimating your final costs based on that design. And then achieving planning permission. We touched on outline planning, detailed planning. On most occasions, most self-builders should be going for detailed planning. And then step 5 was raising funds by going out to the brokers or the mortgage providers and using a QS to provide you a cost schedule, so then you can raise them funds easily based on a robust cost forecast. Okay, that completes this module. Thank you for watching. So as I've touched on before, using this process, we've helped Sean in Kent save in excess of £20,000 at planning stage alone. We've also helped Steve and Kath save £35,000 when negotiating to buy a plot of land by executing on this strategy that I've just shown here. So all you need to do now is your assignment, which is what's your biggest takeaway? And number 2, your biggest concern / challenge after watching this. The rules are: post your assignment in the group. That's a requirement. If you break the rule, you must be banned. I'm sorry, but that's how we do this. Follow the rules. This is a free training. If you don't, we'll ban you and remove you from the group. Anybody caught cheating, you're instantly banned. We've got no time for cheating. This is done for you to help you and help others. And if you're cheating, you will be removed. So please follow the rules as they're written, and you'll get the free training, free gift at the end, and the template. So don't forget, when you get to the end of this in 5 days, we'll be giving you the free pricing schedule. It's part of our 10K offer. It's not for sale anywhere else. Easily compares prices. It highlights where contractors are overpriced items so you can negotiate them down. And when using this, we've saved our clients on average 50 to 100k based on a £400,000 budget. This is for the action takers, and you will get it free. Finish the course in 5 days, watch the free videos, carry out your short assignments, and you will be rewarded. If you don't do this, you will be removed, and there's no exception. So you've got 5 days to carry out the assignments, watch all the videos, and if you don't do this, you will be removed, and there is no exceptions to this whatsoever. Next modules is phase 3, Master Builders, how to secure the best team and prepare for your construction. Through this phase, like I've touched on, we've helped Sean in Kent save in excess of £20,000 in the planning stage alone. We've also helped Steve and Kath save £35,000 with negotiating to buy a plot of land. So let's go through Master Builders, how to secure the best team and prepare for construction. Using this information in this module, we've helped Sean in Pickering save in excess of £40,000 on design fees and contractor fees. We've helped Sean implementing all the information that you're about to watch in these modules. We've helped Sean in Pickering save in excess of £40,000 on design fees and contractor costs. We've also helped Jenny in Nunnington save in excess of £20,000 on contractor costs. So remember, we've done this using our pricing template. It's part of our 10k offer. It's not for sale anywhere else. It easily compares prices. It highlights where the contractors have overpriced, so you can use it to negotiate them down. And we've saved, on average, our clients 50 to 100k based on a £400,000 project. So this is for the action takers, and you'll get this template free. Finish the course in 5 days. Watch the free videos. Do the short assignments, which are really easy. Follow them as they're written, and you will be rewarded. And if you don't do this, and you don't finish within 5 days, you will be removed, and there is no exceptions to that whatsoever. So there's no exception, guys. Please follow it exactly as it's written, and you'll get a load of useful content and information, and you will get our pricing template, which we use to save our clients in excess of £50,000. So as we've touched on, these are the 3 modules we're going through: Dream It, Plan It, Master Builders, From Ground to Glory, and this is the one we're going to focus on now: how to secure the best team and prepare for your construction. And throughout this module, we're going to go through these steps, which is step 6, planning your self-build; step 7, obtaining building control and warranty utilities; step 8, securing the best contractors and materials for your project; step 9, project management, CDM and health and safety requirements; and step 10, preparing your site ready for construction. So let's get into step 6.